Good morning. Today's topic that we are going to study is rational numbers. So rational numbers are the kind of numbers which we use in our daily life very often. To begin with, we will be dealing with the introduction of rational numbers today. Before we come to the introduction, we will be discussing about two types of numbers, that is fractions and integers. Okay, now fractions and integers you have learnt in your previous classes. How did you identify the fraction, or what was the definition which you read about the fraction was? A number written in the form of P upon Q, where P and Q are whole numbers and Q's value should not be 0. Right? Now which all examples you have studied? 1 upon 2, 3 upon 4, 5 upon 7, like these. Okay, these were the examples, or this is the concept of fraction which we have studied till now. Let's come to integers. Integers are all the positive and negative numbers, including 0. This is what you have learnt about the integers, right? Now, when these two types of numbers are compiled together and they are clubbed together, we come to know with a term known as rational numbers. Okay, now if the integers come into fraction, then they are together known as rational numbers. So did you understand from where these numbers have been emerged? They are emerging from the pre-concepts which you have studied already, that is the fractions and the integers. Okay. So how do we define now a rational number? Clear? A rational number is the number written in P upon Q form, right, where P and Q are the integers. Okay, now in fractions, what term we were using? We were using whole numbers. Now here, which term are we using? Integers. See, this is the difference between a normal fraction and a rational number, which you have to keep in mind. So, a rational number is the number written in P upon Q form, where the numbers P and Q are the integers and the value of Q should not be 0. Because if the denominator will become 0, then the entire fraction or entire rational number will not be defined. Okay. So this was the definition of the rational number. Now we'll come to two types of rational numbers. Rational numbers are of two types, right? Let's take some of the examples of positive and negative rational numbers. So I'm using short form of rational numbers Rn. Okay, this Rn is representing what? Rational numbers. So when we talk of positive rational numbers are either it should be both positive, right? Can you see here 3 and 7 have the positive sign, or if this 3 upon 7 can be minus 3 or minus 7, right? These also will be considered as the positive rational number. Now when we talk of negative rational number, okay, that is minus 3 upon 7, okay, or minus 7 upon 11. Is it clear? So these are the two types of rational numbers which we learn in this chapter, okay. Now, the next topic that we will study is the standard form of the rational number. In this, the standard form of rational number says that the rational number should be in the simplest form along with the negative sign only with the numerator. So I am repeating again, what is the standard form of a rational number? The standard form here represents that whatever rational number is given to you should be in the simplest form along with the negative sign only with the numerator. Let's see how. Suppose my rational number is minus 21 upon 42. Clear? Now here, this is not the simplest form of the rational number. So what I will do? I will convert it into first its simplest form. So if I divide both numerator and denominator by 7 or by 21 itself, I will get the simplest form, that is minus 1 upon 2. So what is this minus 1 upon 2? This is the standard form of the rational number minus 21 upon 42. Clear to everybody? Let's take one more example. Now if this is 1 upon 2, let's take this only, 1 upon minus 2. So I told you that the two conditions which apply here, that what can be called as the standard form of rational number. It is, the first one is fulfilled, that the rational number should be in the simplest form. Clear? Now, if one condition is fulfilled, here the second condition is also getting filled, that is the negative sign is present only with the numerator. But if I shift this negative sign to denominator, will I be calling it as the standard form of 1 upon 2? No, I will not be calling it as the standard form. Why? Because the negative sign, if it is coming in the denominator, will not fulfill the condition of being a standard form. So how to change this? Now to change this, what I will do, I will multiply the numerator and the denominator with minus 1. Okay, this is the standard rule that we apply to change any rational number to its standard form. Is it clear? This is the only rule to change any rational number to its standard form. You are going to divide the numerator and the denominator of the rational number with minus 1. So 1 into minus 1 is going to give you minus 1. Minus 2 into minus 1 is going to give you minus 1 upon 2. So what is my end result? Minus 1 upon 2, which is similar to this standard form of minus 21 upon 42. Is it clear? Let's come to the next topic. fractions could be represented representation of rational numbers on number line. So let's quickly revise that how we used to represent the fractions and the integers on number line, right? First we are doing it for fractions. Okay, so what I used to do, suppose this is 0 and this is 1. I used to divide it into 5 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is 1 upon 5, 2 upon 5, 3 upon 5, 4 upon 5, and that is 5 upon 5. So your result will be 1. So can you all try to recall that this was the representation of a fraction on the number line. Now let's take off integer. Clear? In the integers, 0 was at the middle position. Yes. Towards the right hand side, all the positive integers will be placed, and towards the left side of the number line, all the negative integers will be placed, like this -1, -2, -3 and so on. Is it clear? Now see, 0 was in the middle and then all the positive numbers, and on the left side of the number line, all the negative numbers will be placed. Now, when these two are compiled together, the representation of rational number on the number line is coming. So now, this is the representation of rational numbers on the number line. See how? 0 is in the center. All the positive rational numbers are towards the right hand side. This is my right hand, and all the positive rational numbers are arranged towards the right hand side of the 0. So these are the positive rational numbers. Now here, towards the left side of the 0, that is towards the left side of the 0, all the negative rational numbers are arranged. Okay? Negative rational numbers. So let's take one illustrative example to understand that how do we fragment the number line and how do we arrange it on the number line. Now we have one illustrative example to show or to exhibit this rational number -3 upon 2 on the number line. So first of all, we are going to draw the number line. Okay, 0. Now see, this is 2. Always look at the denominator to find out that where this rational number will be located. You have to divide the number line into that many fragments. Okay, so it is 1, 2. Okay, now here you will get 1, and after that if you divide it into 2 parts, here you are going to get the 2. Clear? Here it is your 1 and this is 3 upon 2 which is coming in between. Okay, so 3 upon 2 is the positive one. Similarly, because it has a negative sign, it will be representing itself towards the left side of the 0 in the same manner. We have -1 here, then we have -2 here. So -3 upon 2 will be here. So this is the actual location of this rational number -3 upon 2 on the number line. Clear? Now, so here we will be dealing with 1 upon 2 minus 3 upon 7 with the cross multiplication method. Earlier we have done with the positive rational numbers. Now these are the negative rational numbers. So we are following the same method. We will cross multiply the 2. 1 multiplied by 7 and -3 multiplied by 2. Is it clear? Now look here. Here it is coming 7 and here it is coming minus 6. So obviously 7 is greater than minus 6 because it is a positive number. So 1 upon 2 rational number is greater than minus 3 upon 7. Clear? Now one more method which is there, which we use often, is the LCM method. Okay, taking out the LCM of the given rational numbers. So we are taking out the LCM and comparing two rational numbers. So I am taking the same rational numbers, 1 upon 2 and minus 3 upon 7. So the LCM of 2 and 7 comes to be 14. And if I equalize the rational number according to 14, I will get here 7 and here I will get minus 6. So how did I get these two? Let's see. 1 upon 2 is my rational number and in the denominator I want 14 because 14 is the LCM that I have calculated. If I multiply this 2 by 7, certainly I will get 14. Similarly, I will be multiplying 1 with 7. So I will get 7 upon 14. Clear? In the same manner, when we convert or when we equalize minus 3 upon 7 according to the LCM 14, what do I get? I multiply this denominator by 2, then I get 14 and this minus 3 is also multiplied by 2. Here I get minus 6. So these two are same as here. Now the fraction, the rational number becomes 7 upon 14 and minus 6 upon 14. So after comparing the numerators, 7 is greater than minus 6. So 1 upon 2 is greater than minus 3 upon 7. So here all of you have to keep in mind that after solving or after taking out the LCM, you are supposed to write your answer in the original form of rational numbers. It is very important to show the comparison between the original rational numbers. Original means which was there in your question. If you leave your question here only, then obviously marks deduction will be there. Clear? So to avoid it, always remember to write the comparison in the question format only with the original rational numbers. Now let's take some of the examples on all the topics which we have done till now, one by one. So by this you will get an idea that what sort of questions could be asked to you on the topics which we have done till now. So here are some of the examples on the topics which we have covered till now. So the first type of question which is being asked on rational numbers is to write the numerator and denominator of the given rational numbers. Let's say my rational number is 15 upon minus 7. So certainly 15 is my numerator and minus 7 is the denominator. In the next B part, minus 9 upon 70. 9 is the numerator and 17 is the denominator. Clear? Now, in the last, minus 20 upon minus 120 upon minus 150. Obviously 150 is the denominator and minus 120 is the numerator. So whatever number you have above the upon sign or the division sign is your numerator, and the number below the upon sign is your denominator. Next type of illustrative examples are to write the positive and negative numbers of the rational number. Suppose I have minus 7 upon 90. So here the negative rational number is minus 7 and positive rational number is 19. It could be vice versa also. Suppose I write 7 upon minus 90. So my positive number becomes 7 and negative number becomes minus 90. Clear? Now let's take some other examples. So let's take some examples on the topics which we have started till now. So in that section only, the another type of question which is being asked is identify the positive and negative rational numbers. Okay, now let's have a look here. This is minus 6 upon 9. So in this obviously negative sign is present. So which type of rational number it is? It is a negative rational number. Now here again in B, it is 4 upon minus 5. So one of the P and Q number is negative and the other is positive. So again this is also a negative rational number. Here it is minus 1 upon 12. It is also a negative rational number. How? Because the P number here is in negative. Clear? Now, this is minus 4 and minus 5. Right? Now this minus 4 and minus 5 both have the negative numbers which will later on be converted to 4 upon 5. So this is what? Positive rational number. Now here there is single number 6. But is it single number 6? No. This is 6 upon 1. And both these numbers are rational numbers. So 6 upon 1 is again a positive rational number. The next type of question which is usually asked on rational number is which of the following pairs are equivalent rational numbers? So for this we have two rational numbers here. We are going to compare these two rational numbers by using the cross multiplication method. So how do we do that? On writing 13 upon 21 and 39 upon 63. Okay, then you are going to cross multiply 13 into 63, 39 into 21. So children, here you can do the direct multiplication also, or you can arrange them in the column and then multiply like this 39 into 21. Both ways according to your convenience you can use to multiply these numbers, right? So when we multiply 13 into 63 we get 819 and 819 here also. So which shows that the product of the two cross multiplications is same, that is 890 and 819. This means that these two rational numbers are equal. Okay, and we can say that the given two rational numbers are equivalent with each other. In the next example, the next pair of rational numbers is 15 upon 24 and 45 upon 48. Okay, now on cross multiplying this pair of rational number, we have 15 into 48 and 45 into 24. On multiplying 15 into 48, we get 720, and on multiplying 45 into 24, we get 1080. Okay, so we can easily make out the difference that one product is coming greater and the other one is smaller. So obviously this is greater. Now 15 upon 24, 45 upon 48. Which one is greater? This one is greater than 15 upon 24. Here, so this shows that the other pair of equivalent fractions is not an equivalent fraction. That means 15 upon 24 and 45 upon 48 are not an equivalent pair of rational numbers. Now let's come to the other illustrative examples. The other type of question which is asked on rational number is to express each of the following in the standard form. So when we were talking of the standard form, I explained you that standard form means to converting the given rational number into its simplest form, along with the keeping in mind the sign, that is negative sign, should be there in the numerator only. Okay, now to convert any rational number into standard form, we need to get the simplest rational number. And how do we get the simplest rational number? By finding out the HCF of the numerator and the denominator. Let's see the first question, that is 12 upon 36. Now, when we are going to find out the HCF of 12 and 36, that highest common factor will be used to divide both numerator and denominator, and we will eventually get the simplest form of this fraction. Let's see how. To find out the HCF, what we do, the smallest number is kept as divisor and the greater number is kept as the dividend. Let's divide the two numbers. So this goes 3 times 36. Now, for getting the highest common factor, that is HCF, the division should complete with a remainder 0. I am repeating again, if you want to get a highest factor of two numbers, your division should get 0 remainder. So in this case, what is my highest common factor? 12. So let's see. If I divide 12 by 12 and 36 by 12, here I get 1 and here I get 3. So the simplest form or the standard form of 12 upon 36 is 1 upon 3. Is it clear to everybody? So here HCF calculated is 12. We used this HCF to reduce these two numbers to 1 and 3, and whatever we get here is 1 upon 3. This is 1 upon 3, the reduced form or the standard form of 12 upon 36. Now here this entire is the positive rational number. So we don't have the need to focus on the negative sign because it is already a positive rational number. The other question is the B part says minus 12 upon minus 21. Now again we are going to find out the HCF of these two numbers. So let's take 12 outside and 21 inside. It will go one time. 12 11 out of 2 is 9. Here 12 will come. Again 1s are 9. 3. This 9 goes 3 times. And we reach to a complete division where no remainder is left. Now here no remainder is left. That means 3 is the HCF I am looking for. So 3 is the HCF of 12 and 21. So after getting 3, the HCF, this minus 12 will be divided by 3, minus 21 will be divided by 3. Here I will get minus 4 and here I will get minus 7. But again it is not a standard form. Why? We are going to change it into standard form by multiplying it with minus 1. So when I multiply the numerator with minus 1, I get 4, and when I multiply the denominator, I get 7. Clear? The next question. The next question is minus 60 upon 96. So with the same method as we have done, you can find out the HCF. Now see, the HCF which you will get is what? 12. What will be the HCF of these two numbers? 12. You can check whether you are getting the HCF of minus 60 and 96 12 or not by using the same method, same process of finding the HCF. So let's see, minus 60 divided by 12, 96 divided by 12. Okay, so here you get minus 5 and here you get 8. So the rational number minus 60 upon 96 has been reduced to 5 upon 8, and this is the standard form of the given rational number. So this is the standard form of minus 60 upon 96 is minus 5 upon 8. Okay. The other question is a 3-digit rational number. So the last example for this is minus 192 upon 168. So the HCF of these two numbers is 24. This again you can get by doing the long division method of finding the HCF. See, it is preferable to use the long division method because you will never get an incorrect answer. You will always get the correct answer of HCF whenever you are using the long division method of finding the HCF. Okay, so let's divide the numerator and denominator by 24. So here I will get minus 8 and here I will get 7. So the standard form of minus 192 and 16 upon 168 is minus 8 upon 7. So let's come to the next topic. In the next topic, we will be discussing about the properties of rational numbers. Now property 1 says that if suppose x is any rational number, so its value is either greater than 0 or it is equals to 0 or it can be smaller than 0 or 0 could be greater than the given rational number. So here we are talking of a positive rational number and here we are talking of a negative rational number, which we have already studied in detail in the previous sessions. Right? Now the property 2 here says that if there are two rational numbers x and y, okay, so there could be these three conditions only. Either x is greater than y or they both are equal and giving the rational number 1, or y is greater than x. Okay, only these three conditions are possible. Suppose if we have three rational numbers x, y and z. If x is greater than y, then and y is greater than z. Now see here, when you are combining these two, what is happening? X is coming to be greater than Z. How we have come to this? Let's see. If we compare X and Y and Z. So Y is being cancelled because it is coming to be the common in both the sides. Okay. So we are left with X is greater than Z.